Jamar was running a small catering business when the pandemic hit. Then he had to refund close to $10,000 in deposits. Before long, he was struggling to pay his bills, and this top chef was living on food stamps.
I just love to cook in general, no matter what it is.
Jamar Sheffey worked as the sous chef and head of catering for a large hospital before God launched him full-time into his own catering business.
Felt like God was more than just a nudge. I felt like he just pushed me off the cliff.
Building the business took time and was slow going, making it hard to provide for his stay-at-home wife Katie and their kids.
There's a few times where I was like, I don't know if this is gonna work. So yeah, definitely got discouraging at some points.
And while the couple wanted to tithe, they didn't think they could afford it.
I mean, I felt like every single penny, it was like life or death. And then sometimes it would just get so heavy, it would be crushing.
They already had a consolidated loan and didn't want more debt. Still, they had to replace their flooring as it was causing bad allergic reactions.
We had to apply the charges to our credit card. Not something that I personally wanted to do, but I knew for the health of my daughter and myself, we had to take those steps.
Other critical home repairs were set aside while basic family living expenses kept piling up. The couple needed a breakthrough. Then, at their church's New Year's 2020 Vision Night, they decided it was time to start tithing.
I didn't want to stand before him and have to answer the question of why didn't you give me your first best? I just couldn't do it no more.
Not long after that, the pandemic hit.
We started getting emails and calls of clients wanting to get refunds because they had to reschedule or they just had to simply cancel. And I do remember us refunding close to $10,000 around that time, which was pretty much all we had.
Our bank account was to a point where it was like, I mean, how are we going to make it into the next day?
They couldn't keep up with their utility bills, and they also had to use food stamps.
It's never a good feeling not to be able to have enough money to pay your bills. I mean, it's not a good feeling just as a man, period. You know, sometimes you just kind of feel like a failure.
Their church helped them get by. Meanwhile, the couple got pandemic relief money and surrendered one of their cars before it was slated for repossession. During that time, they gave offerings when they could. However, as much as the Sheffeys desired to, they still didn't put tithing first.
We weren't putting all our faith in God at that time. I call it like the inner conflict. It was, do I still want to remain closed-fisted, or do I want to fully trust God and open up my hands and give him everything that I had?
Jamar says what God said next helped him to let go.
He just said, next year will be the best financial year you ever had, and he wanted me to say it. So I turned to my wife and I told her.
I think I had a blank stare on my face, like, yeah, right. Like, come on, babe. Like, let's be realistic.
Soon, Jamar was hired as a consultant and trainer for a new barbecue restaurant. And when Vision Night came around again, he heard God tell him they were supposed to give $10,000 the next year, no matter what.
I said, okay, I'm going to see if your word is true. You say your word doesn't come back void, we're going to test it. At that point, I was able to put the pressure on God.
It was almost like an aha revelation moment, like, you know, you tell your children over and over again the same exact thing until they're finally like, okay, I get it. And then they obey. So I think it was kind of like that.
By faith, they finally put tithing first and ended up giving even more than they'd planned to. With his new position at the barbecue restaurant and increased catering work, Jamar's income quadrupled by the end of the year. The Sheffeys had enough money to take care of their home repairs, plus pay off their remaining car and part of their loan.
It was our heart to pay off those, to bring debt down, to have more financial freedom, to give so that others, you know, would experience, like, why are you guys so generous? Like, why are you just so freely giving? You know, and we always say, you know, that's not us, that's him.
Jamar has acquired several new catering contracts and now has his own cooking show in the works. His income continues to go up, and the couple plans to tithe and give more than ever.
I can't afford not to tithe because God can't lie. So if you do your part, he has to bless you. just start tithing and don't stop. It'll just change your life forever.
Jamar got the secret. I can't afford not to tithe. When you understand the blessings that come from tithing, that God will open up the windows of heaven and pour out a blessing you cannot contain. When you understand the promise of Jesus from the Gospel of Luke, give and it will be given unto you, then you get the right orientation. I can't afford not to do this because I want the blessings of God. I want that open heaven. I want Him watching out for my future, watching out for my finances. I'm not going to be stingy with God because He hasn't been stingy with me. When you get that and when you understand it, tithing becomes second nature. It becomes cheerful. You become generous. You become loving in your giving. It's wonderful what happens when you have that transformation. If you want to start this, if you want to say, yes, I want to live a life of giving. This isn't some on-again, off-again thing. It certainly isn't some heavenly lottery or slot machine or anything like that. No. It's not a get-rich-quick kind of thing. If you want a life of giving, a life of generosity, call us and say, yes, I want to be a CBN partner. I want to join in everything you're doing around the world. A portion of every gift to CBN goes into the work of Operation Blessing. Another portion goes into the work of CBN International to preach the gospel around the world. You're part of everything we do when you become a member. If that's you, say yes. How much is it? It's just $20 a month. That's 65 cents a day. You join with tens of thousands of people that say, yes, let's make a difference in the world today. Hello, I'm Gordon Robertson. Thanks for watching the video. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more encouraging videos like this one. Welcome to the 700 Club Interactive family, and God bless you.